Hey guys, it's the patient hodler coming at you with another video, and in this one we are going to talk about the Ecomi OMI news that we got from the Veve AMA, and we are going to line them up in a sole Ecomi OMI token roadmap, so you know which steps are coming next for the Ecomi token. And as always, you know the drill, I'm a crypto and NFT investor and not a financial advisor, so please do your own research before you ape into the Ecomi token. Also, if you like this type of content, please consider dropping a like, subscribe to my channel, and let me know what you think about the next steps for Ecomi in the comments below. If you want to do more than that, please consider becoming one of my rare hodlers, a Patreon link you will find in the description of that video. At this point, I want to thank all of my 7 Patreons for supporting me all the time and making these videos possible. So thank you very much for the constant support. Now with that out of the way, let's get started. So before we jump into the topic, I have an announcement to make. Tomorrow at 9 p.m. Central European time, I will meet up on this channel with Corey, aka Old Rhubarb, aka Veve in 3, to discuss all the good stuff around Veve collectibles, especially the Veve comics. We have thought out some very interesting topics, some very interesting insights, and I will be very happy to have Corey here on my channel because he has so much interesting stuff to tell us. So we are going to hang out, discuss, chat, and also have a good time with all of you guys. So make sure that you tune in and set yourself a reminder for that time. I'm looking forward to have this nice discussion here on my channel. Now with that said, let's go into the topic regarding a possible new roadmap for the OMI token, and this is what you will find here. And don't be afraid, this is not everything on the roadmap. I will put it in one by one as we discuss the steps. So the last step on the roadmap to be completed was that Gate.io actually finishes the token migration, because many people were already becoming nervous because Gate.io actually plans to shut down their activities in the US and in some other countries as well. And if they wouldn't have completed the migration right now to ERC20, then some people in the US would not be able anymore to transfer their OMI tokens away from Gate.io. So here are some very important things to consider. Now, Gate.io is done with this. If you are in the US, you should, as quick as possible, access your OMI tokens and try to move them to another exchange such as Bitforex. But here, please have a lot of caution, because now Ecomi is ERC20 and needs to be sent on the Ethereum network, which also means that you need to send it onto an ERC20 address on Bitforex. Please don't send it to a Go chain address on Bitforex, because Bitforex supports both addresses and both token types. And if you send it to the wrong address, you could as well lose all your tokens and turn them into burnt tokens forever. And this is something that I don't wish that happens to you. So this was not known during the AMA, but shortly after we got these news. So there was one more very interesting information in the AMA about Gate.io, and that is that Gate.io actually doesn't have an official listing agreement such as the other exchanges with the Ecomi team. They just went ahead and listed Ecomi without talking back. And we can also see that they have not given any heads up when the token migration will be completed to the Ecomi team, and therefore there's no communication whatsoever, which in my opinion will lead to that I will also move my tokens away, even though I am in Germany and it's not dangerous for me at the moment to have them there, but I just want an exchange that also communicates back with the team. And finally, to this topic, we have the great channel of Jason Colon. If you want to know all the data around the token, then you can just follow him on Twitter. He puts out valuable content, and he says here the migration tracker for layer 1, which is where the OMI on all exchanges is. Gate.io is up and running from the looks of it. Many transactions occurring over the last 12 hours. So this was a couple of days ago, right after the AMA. And so that supports the thesis that actually the migration with Ecomi, with Gate.io is complete, and that means the only exchange that is missing right now is OKex. And this brings us to the first point on our roadmap, because in the AMA we have heard that OKex ran into some problems with the token migration, is now coordinating with the Ecomi team, which in my opinion is not such a big problem, but the first point on our roadmap is that OKex needs to complete the token migration, and that actually will put a full stop behind the whole topic of the IMX migration that is going on already since more than 6 months now. The next point on our roadmap is the OMI Bridge, so the bridge between layer 1 and layer 2, so that you can actually move OMI ERC20 tokens between exchange and the layer 2 wallet where you want to stake the OMI for the master collector program in the future. Now, the development of that bridge and the implementation of the bridge, everything that the Ecomi team needed to do was already done, but IMX had some problems to do their part on their side, which made us wait longer on that one, and a lot of people already became nervous because they couldn't get their OMI back on the normal way because that bridge wasn't there anymore, and we had that significant drop in OMI during that time when people mostly didn't know how to get their OMI out on a normal way. Now that bridge is coming, and here's one interesting information that I wanted to share with you, and that is we should have patience with these type of things like a bridge, because that could be a vulnerable point for hacks. Because as you have already heard probably, hackers hit the Axie Infinity chain, the Ronin network, and made it subject of one of the biggest hacks in crypto history, stealing more than $600 million in cryptocurrency. And apparently the weak spot of all of that was a bridge. As we can read further down in the article, it says, I noticed that Axie Bridge was exploited for 600 million 6 days ago, so I shorted AXS with high leverage. That's what the guy says here, and it shows that if the bridge was a vulnerable point, then you want in your project, in your investment, which is OMI, that they do everything to build up a secure bridge where we are transferring our OMI between the L2 and the L1 to the exchanges. We don't want to have our OMI tokens stolen because something was made in a rush regarding that bridge. The next point that we got from the AMA is that we will see another iteration of the OMI Utility Program article. As of now, we know already what the first 3 staking tiers will bring with them, and that they are probably between $1,000 and $10,000, and that there will be staking tiers 4 and 5 as well, and that there will be some major benefits that lets us play around with collectibles and even burn collectibles part of those staking tiers. Now, as we all know, the team is working on the OMI Utility Program and listening closely to what the community has to say about this, and maybe seeing that some people were requesting even more staking tiers. And as we have seen already in staking tier 3, we get stuff like burning collectibles, then we can expect that there are major updates or major tools for us to work with in the following staking tiers 4, 5 and possible 6. Also, the implementation then later on of the OMI Utility Program will give us the possibility that our actions within the Veve app will burn OMI from the circulating supply via buyer's fees, via breakage fees, and via acceleration fees. Then we got the information from the AMA that OMI will not only be a currency on the IMX marketplace, but also on the Token Trove marketplace that is also part of the IMX ecosystem. So there we already have 2 utilities that are coming in place with the OMI token. We have then received the information that buybacks are not completely off the table, but rather that Reese told us that they are checking back with the regulators, with the SEC, if there's any way to implement the buybacks so that we can have some utility to the token that depends on the burning of the reserve wallet at the moment. And as we will see in short, there are a lot of burns going on, but no one is celebrating them at the moment because there's no actual confirmed link between the replenishing of the reserve wallet and the burning of the OMI tokens from the reserve wallet. So in my opinion, the buybacks will stay cancelled because I cannot imagine any scenario where the SEC will approve on buybacks that will give the value to the token in that sense. I could imagine that there is some implementation of smart contracts that with any action within the Veve app or other projects that are on the OMI chain that will somehow buy OMIs automatically independently from the price, from the circulating supply, and put them in the various projects. And if that is an automatism that is triggered by actions within the project, then it might be different than actually executed buybacks from the team just to have something that gives value onto the OMI token. So I believe that they have to find a substitute for that. And that is also what Reese said in the AMA, because he said that if buybacks were not possible, they will find another way to give the same or even better utility to the token. And as I've already explained before, I trust in that team, and so I believe that they will do that. Also because they are sitting on large bags of OMI themselves, and them giving utility to that would increase the value of their own bags. There's no sense in dumping those bags right now. So regarding the burns from the reserve wallet, and this only as a side note because technically we don't have any utility that links it to the token, but it's still amazing to see how the burn develops. And it actually also supports our thesis that the burns will go in an exponential way. So back to Jason Colon and his data, we can see that mid-weekend OMI burn update, current burning at a rate above all trend lines. Graphs as of last night, current morning total was 42.1 billion already burned. And as you can see here on this chart, you can see that the burn in a linear trend, polynomial trend line, which is a little bit below an exponential one, and then we have the exponential trend line, and we can see that the blue, the actual burns, are going outside of that exponential trend line at the moment. And this of course has to do with large shop purchases, a lot of buying in the shop on the drops going on, which burns 100% of the OMI wrapped up in the gems, as I have explained in the tokenomics videos before. And with these big drops and a super low OMI price, the burns at the moment are just insane. So thank you to Jason Colon to always keeping us updated with these interesting charts. The next one on my list is still one that we are waiting for, and that is Epico Regal, which is a little tower defense online game on a smartphone device, and it is targeted at the Indian market by its storytelling, but we have already some players within the Veve fam that are playing within that game, and also they got their first free NFT within that game. So we don't know exactly how Epico Regal will use the OMI token, but it's safe to say that at some point they will onboard onto the OMI token and probably use it as an in-game currency. And that makes sense because the founder of this project, or the company that launched this project, Venkatesh, he is also since more than 4 years a strategic advisor for the Ecomi team and a good friend with David Yu and Dan Crothers. So I believe if they are basically leaking and telling that they are going to onboard onto the OMI token with their project, I believe this is going to happen. Now, obviously they had to delete their tweet about this again because probably they have been moved further down the roadmap of Veve itself because of all the big brands that are coming in at the moment, but they are going to do a press release together. I'm sure of it. I said it in my last video about Epico Regal that this will come, and this will be just another project that will utilize and lock up OMI within their app. And if they can get a broader share of the Indian market with their game, that would be really, really amazing for us. Further down the roadmap, we are also going to see OMI to NFT and NFT to OMI, where you will be able to list your collectibles for OMI tokens, as it is already possible with HRO cards on the IMX marketplace. We have already confirmation that IMX is working at the integration with other marketplaces such as OpenSea, which then will open the channels for Veve NFTs to enter the IMX marketplace, and from there also marketplaces like OpenSea and maybe the ones of Binance and Coinbase NFT places that are yet to come. And this is also the reason why it took longer with the bridge for OMI, because they had a lot of resources bound in the integration from IMX and OpenSea. Now OMI to NFT, NFT to OMI will give a lot of utility to the OMI token as well. And then finally, down this roadmap, we will have the execution of the OMI Utility Program phases. Such as Master Collector Program, the OMI Utility Program will be split up in the first phases, and probably you will not be able to do all the staking tiers at the same time, but probably more you will have to stake through tier 1 to get to tier 2, and probably not all of those tiers are implemented because they bring a lot of functionalities with them. But I expect the full range of this OMI roadmap to be executed within the year 2022, with the last steps being the last phases of OMI Utility Program and implementing OMI to NFT, and already seeing somewhat of OMI Utility during Q3 and ending in Q4. And with that, I'm already at the end of this little OMI token related wrap up of the AMA. We are going to start to build out a separate OMI and a Veve roadmap, because all the things that are going on are not fitting into one roadmap anymore. Please let me know in the comments below what you all think about these steps that are coming up. If you think it's realistic to conclude all of these steps in 2022, or are you saying that it will take way longer? And please let me know why you think that. Also, don't forget to save the date for tomorrow's live stream with Corey, aka Old Rhubarb, aka Vivian3. It's going to be very interesting, and I hope to see you all there tomorrow. And with that said, wherever you are on this world, have yourselves a great morning, evening, day, night, or afternoon, and see you in the next video.